A huge mistake that most artists make is thinking that the more hard work you put into your music, the better it will be. I totally get it. I've fallen into that belief many times myself, and everybody says it. Great art takes time. Great art has attention to detail. Wow, that's amazing. It must have taken ages to create. If you put more hard work into your music, the better it will be. Makes sense, right? But let me ask you, does everybody who spends 8 hours a day staring at their screen in their studio, grinding it out day after day, actually produce amazing music? No way, Jose. If there's a direct correlation between hard work and good, well, how many hours do you need before something is deemed as good? Do you even know? Probably not. And you could actually end up making your music much worse if you keep thinking that that's true. So how do you create better music without relying on hard work or sheer discipline or hustle and grind and grit? Number one is you work smarter, not harder. All right, so the first thing to think about is that not all actions are created equal, all right? There's this thing called highest impact actions. So in the context of making music, in producing music that moves the listener, that you feel satisfied about, that you're happy to share, that wows and blows minds, there's going to be certain actions that are way more important than others. And some of those highest impact actions in the context of producing amazing music is your songwriting, is your arrangement, is being able to tell a story and take somebody on a captivating journey, impact the listener, really move somebody with your piece of music, and your songwriting abilities will be at the top of that list. All right, so in that context, I would focus on writing as many songs as possible and then picking the best ones from there. Instead of focusing all of your effort on making the perfect song that's going to change the world, focus on making 10 and picking the best 2 from your 10. It'll be easier, it'll be more fun, and the end result will be much better. You also want to think about the 80-20 principle when it comes to what to focus on in your music making process. So real quick, what 80-20 means is that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your actions. So if you can find that 20% and even double down on that 20%, you'll get far more results than focusing on the 80% of the other actions that really won't make a huge difference. So one way to help you with that 80-20 is to really think in broad strokes when you're making your music, okay? Do not get zeroed in onto all of these tiny details too early in the process, and think in bigger, broad strokes and just simplify your approach, and then get into the details later once you know that the idea and the song you're working with is actually good. Because for example, working on a song and going super deep into the details, EQing the snare, switching out the samples, tweaking the arrangement, adding layers, and then later figuring out that the song isn't that great to begin with is the 80% of stuff that will not help you move forward, versus focusing on creating a bunch of song ideas and then finding the best 1 or 2 in there, then zeroing in on the details will help you make music that's so much better, so much quicker, so much easier and more fun, because what you're working with is already starting from an amazing place. And we got to be real, in today's day and age, we are distracted at every turn, all right, with our phones, with social media, with all sorts of things campaigning for our attention. It can be very tough to focus on what is called deep work. All right, there's this book called Deep Work by Cal Newport, which really goes deep inside the idea of developing your ability to focus and do what is called deep work. And to produce amazing music, you're going to want to be able to get into that state as much as possible, because in that state of deep focus, the work you will do will be significantly more effective versus being in a semi-distracted state. All right, turn off your notifications, turn off those stupid badge icons on your apps, and put your phone in airplane mode when you're focused in the studio. Number 2 is know thyself, okay? So as an artist, as a creator, as an amazing, unique human being, you have a unique makeup that is like no one else on planet Earth, all right? You've got strengths and you've got weaknesses. What are they? All right, you might play an instrument, you might have a DJ background, you might have a unique taste and combination of influences and genres that you grew up on. Whatever it is, there's going to be something unique that you can do that comes easily, that's unique, that's engaging, that's attractive to other people, that you uniquely excel at because of your unique skills. All right, so take a step back and think about, what are the things that I naturally excel at that apply to music production? If you can identify what are your strengths and lean on your strengths, you're going to have an unfair advantage compared to other people that just focus on the plain Jane basic skills that everybody else is focused on. What can you do that's unique, man? Nobody wants more of the same that everybody else is doing. We want more of you. You also want to consider the power of your back brain, or the power of your subconscious mind when it comes to creative work. So most of us think that unless we're actively working on something or consciously thinking about something, that we're not working on something, that we're not moving it forward. However, that's completely just horse poop. The truth is that our back brain, our subconscious mind, does so much processing, especially in the lens of creative work, without our conscious awareness, and can really exercise the power of our subconscious with the right process. So if you're interested in learning more about a process that helps you work with that subconscious mind and leverages its power to help you make massive progress, I've created a super easy to follow 7-step framework that really focuses on developing that relationship. You can find it in the description below. You also want to focus on the intention and the purpose of your music. So without getting too deep, everything we do has an intention, or at least a context that we put around it. We cannot escape that we are context creating creations. All right, and especially as music producers, as artists, as musicians, we create contexts for people to experience. And if we don't give some thought as to the intention and the purpose of the space we're creating, then we're probably missing out on the single most important thing when it comes to making music, is what is the purpose? What is the intention behind your music? So this doesn't have to be a rigid intention that's written out and super structured, although it can be, but it's more of a general notion of where do you want to take the listener? What experience, what space do you want to create? And if you can identify something, then you'll have some sort of North Star for all of the technical and thinking stuff to apply towards when we're making music. Because at the end of the day, serving that intention, fulfilling the purpose of this track, is what everything in the production process should be serving. It blows my mind how few people really think about this, because even, for example, if your track is like, I want people to feel happy and elated and energized and want to dance, that's very useful information that will help you make decisions in the creative process to serve that purpose. You can see how valuable just having a little bit of insight as to where you want to go can help you shape your production process and the end result. Number 3 is focus on making things fun and easy. Fun and easy, but isn't music production supposed to be hard and technical and an overwhelming process? Let me ask you this. Did you get into making music because it was super technical and difficult and overwhelming? Or did you get into music because it was fun and expressive and easy? All right, and if we focus on keeping things fun and engaging for ourselves as we're making music, it's going to be way easier to get into flow state. And in flow state, you're going to create things that you would have never thought of with your conscious mind. You're going to move mountains. Everything's going to be a lot more easy when you're in that flow state. All right, flow state is a peak state of performance. It's a higher state of consciousness that we tap into when we're completely engaged in something. Whether it's creating art or being a top performing athlete or excelling in any other field, flow state is a crucial part of the process that we want to be able to tap into. And just in general, we create so much better when we're not stressed. We have better ideas, things flow easier, we're not so hard on ourselves, we have more fun, we're more engaged. And again, we get into flow state so much easier. And we also have what is called a decision threshold for every single day. And the reason for this is that decisions take energy. All right, our brain uses a ton of energy to make decisions at every stage of the creative process, and we only have so much energy every single day. So if we do not mitigate the amount of decisions that we have to make while we're working in the studio and focus in more broad strokes and focus on making it fun and easy, we're going to burn out and get tired and disengaged so much quicker. All right, so you want to think a little bit about the idea of play versus work. All right, so throughout your life, you probably have a ton of different activities that are play in your mind for you. So this could be like playing video games, maybe you play a sport for fun, recreational stuff, maybe going out to the cabin, going camping is play for you versus the idea of work. So this might be your day job. This could be doing like yard work around something, stuff you typically don't like to do and you have to encourage yourself to actually do more than other things. So the big question is, what does creating music and music production in general feel like to you psychologically? Does it feel more like work or does it feel more like play? And of course, there's going to be some of both within all of music production. Some of it's going to feel more like play. Some of it's going to feel a little bit more like work. However, where do you find yourself psychologically when you're thinking about making music most of the time? All right, chances are that if you're thinking about making music more like work, that it's going to be so much harder for you to motivate yourself. You're going to watch Netflix instead so much more often, versus if you think about it more like play, it's going to be something that you're looking forward to do. It's going to be something that engages you, something that, dare I say it, you're addicted to doing because it's so fun. So how can you make all of the stages of the music production process feel more like play? Because in that context, it won't feel like hard work. It will feel like play. You'll show up more often, you'll take more consistent action, and at the end of the day, you'll probably have better results. So let me ask you, do you want to keep thinking that hard work equals good and constantly be stressed and struggling with your music making? Or do you want to make things simple, fun, and easy and still make amazing art? So if you want to learn more about a process that will help you make things more fun and feel like less hard work psychologically, definitely check out the 7-step framework in the description below. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to stay in tune for the next MetaMind Music transmission, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let me know, do you think that hard work equals good in the context of music making and art? I'd love to know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.